Prajat, the fact is the opposition pan party, it's not just one particular Congress, it's Samajwadi Party, it is the TMC, who've raised certain issues which the credibility of those will only be judged once there is a verification and an investigation. Do you think that at least now there has to be some meeting ground? If these one after the other for a fair amount of time, the opposition is raising this issue, something needs to be done about it instead of just brushing it aside and saying, they're sour losers.
So, Preeti ji, there are institutional checks and balances that exist. There are institutions to supervise and do judicial reviews around any decisions of executive nature or otherwise anybody is taking in the country. But the problem is these so-called econometricians who, fortunately for this country, you cannot land up in a situation where you are the judge, jury, and executioner. That is good for us. Because, otherwise, on a daily basis, verdicts on our democracy will be issued by individuals like Shri Yogendra Yadav ji. The problem here is that they don't want to knock the doors of the courts, which they, by the way, they have very special access to. They can actually wake up the courts in the middle of the night also, and they will get a due hearing. But they don't have the necessary evidences so far to either put it on public platforms or to take it to the court. If you genuinely feel there are grievances, there are ways to do it, but they want to circumvent all of that and do drama and theatrics around it. When you say and you present an example of a constituency where Samajwadi Party has never lost and is losing the election, you need to go back to the drawing board. Try to understand why is public not voting for you. Minus that main question, they will address everything else around it. This is a simple case of beating around the bush. They want to carry on with it. Good luck with it. It is really unfortunate for the country because you do not have a responsible opposition. In place of a responsible, connected opposition, you are filled with people who have zero connect, who can't win a single election in this country. And somehow they are calling on to the verdict on such a thing like, whether our democracy is failing or not. That is an unfortunate scenario. I still believe that if genuine people, occupy opposition chairs, they'll understand where the lacuna is. By the way, a lot of the Congress party workers and the Akhilesh Yadav's workers are understanding where the gap is. Look at how hard Akhilesh Yadav's party, Samajwadi Party, is working in tandem with the same SIR, setting up booths after booths onto the villages and urban areas to ensure that their voters are getting registered. That is the response that you need to have, not to be anarchist. If you want to carry on your anarchy attitude and hope and pray that Nepal will happen or a Bangladesh will happen, now let me tell you, this country has seen all kinds of discords and
I'm going to just turn. I appreciate both you gentlemen for joining us.